Right, hi there. We are starting our first Fusion 360 sheet metal tutorial. And this is to help us make a model of any building or architecture that we've designed for our project. So this one's just a simple tutorial to do a building with a pitched roof like this. And I'll just show you before we start. So this is what our finished product's going to look like. And we also are able to create a flat pattern. So if we click on this face, the whole building will fold out flat, and you can see that it's got all the little tabs and joins in it, so that then we can fold it up later, and we can cut it out on the laser cutter, and then we can fold it up, and we'll have a perfect little model of our building. So to start this, your browser's probably, your Fusion's probably looking something a little bit like this. I suggest you start a new project, and you're going to call this Year 10 Big Week. I've already got it set up, so I'm not going to do it, but you can do that in new project, Year 10 Big Week, and then you're going to create a new design, and you're going to save that, so Command S, and you'll have this drop down menu here where you can click on Year 10 Big Week, and then you're going to call this drawing, I'm going to call it, first of all I'll put my initials in there so that I know it's mine, pitched roof sheet metal. Now you'll probably call this 01, but it's the third time I've done it, so I'm calling it 03, and save that. So you can see it's saved correctly up here. Now we'll close down that data panel just so we've got more screen. Now, normally when you start, you come in here in the model menu, but we're using this feature here, the sheet metal menu. So click on sheet metal. And before we start drawing, we need to set up some rules to help us. So in the modify menu here, there's an option for sheet metal rules. Just over here. Now, I've already set one up here called card, but I'll show you how to make a new one. I'll call it card 2. And the thickness of that card, let's make it 0.2. And all these other conditions, we just leave them exactly as they are. Fusion makes good decisions for us there. So just click save on that, and you can see card 2's come up over here in our options. So you can put the sheet metal rules away after you've done that. And then we can start our drawing. So we're going to start with a sketch, and I'm going to teach you how to use the shortcuts throughout this. So we're going to start with a rectangle, so it's R for rectangle. And then you click on this plane here, the base plane. That's where you want to draw. And then you're going to click and drag your base. Now I'm scaling these sizes down as I draw them. So when I type 70 millimeters in here, it's actually like 50 times smaller than the size that I found out on site. So out on site that would be, type it in there, 70. Out on site that would be 3 times bigger, 50 times bigger, 70 times 50, 3,500 or 3.5 meters. So that's about the width of a reasonably wide room. And then I'm going to press the tab key, and then I'm going to put the length of the building in, 120 millimeters. Again, times that by 50, that would be 6 meters. That's quite a long room. In fact, in that space, you could inside the space that we've got here, you could easily fit probably 3 bedrooms, 3 big bedrooms. So we've got that floor plan like that, and now we need to do something called flange. This is the icon to click on to create a flange. But if you hover over here, you can see there's this option here to change keyboard shortcut. Now I've already created a keyboard shortcut called Shift and F, so I'm going to leave that in there, but you can you can reset that. Actually, I'll reset it to default, and I'll click up in here, and I'll go Shift F, and then I've set that shortcut. I think you'll find that you'll be using the flange tool a lot, so it's good to have that shortcut set up. So, okay, we're going to click on the surface, so Shift F for flange, and click on the surface. Now, we need to scroll down our menu and make sure we've got the right material. So clicking on card 2, and then OK. So now if you've never used Fusion before, you can see this is the view cube up the top here, and you can use this to rotate around, to look at it from the side and from the top. Most of the time we'll use that home view. I'm just using 2 fingers and squeezing them together to zoom in and out. Right, so now we've got our base. We want to put the walls up, so we're going to use the flange tool again, Shift F, and we're going to go around and we're going to click on all 4 walls. And then we're going to flange those up like that. Now, I'm going to use 48 millimeters. So in real life, that's 48 times 50 is 2,400, which is about standard height of the roof or ceiling inside a house. So let's press enter to lock that down. And then I'm going to create a line on this edge to help me put the pitched roof on. So alpha line, I click on this. Sorry, I'll do that again. Alpha line, click on this face. And then can you see how, let's zoom in there for you actually. See how when we get to the center of that line it snaps there. So just click and we'll just drag a line up. It doesn't matter how far up it goes as long as it's at 90 degrees there. Press enter. Now we're going to create the roof flange. So if I zoom in here, I can Shift F for flange, and click on this edge, and I can drag it in, and I can rotate it up. Now I've done this drawing before, so I know that the angle is 70 degrees, and the height I think is 37. There we go. Scroll back to there. You can see that's sitting right on the edge of the center line there, so that's exactly where we want it. So that's okay. Again, we'll do the same to this other side, so click on here. Oh, let's try that again. Sorry, Shift, yeah. I'm going to zoom in so we get the correct edge. Click on the inside edge, and then drag that. You can type in over here, 35 tabs. Oh, sorry, 37. And if we zoom right in there, we can see those roofs are close together but not touching. And the last thing we want to do, now we need to close in the ends of the roof here. So we're going to zoom right in, use the flange tool again, yeah. And drag that out much further than it needs to go. And then rotate it up. Oh. To 0 degrees. Okay. I'm going to rotate, scroll around to the back of the building, and do the same here. So Shift F. Degrees. Okay. Right, before we go any further, let's save that in case we make some mistakes. And I'm going to go around to the right hand end and zoom in here. Possibly you can see this dotted line. If not, just come down here into display settings and go to your visual style, and you've got shaded with hidden edges. So normally it defaults like that, but if you come in here and go visual style, shaded with hidden edges, you can see those lines there. Now we need those because we're going to trim our roof off at the side off so that it encloses the roof. So again, we're going to draw a line. I'm going to draw it directly onto the surface. And we're going to come in here. Another thing that might happen is you may be in here, you may have it snapping to the grid, and you need to take that setting off. So if it looks like that, just untick that. So alpha line, just hovering in there. See, I'm probably going to click about there in the middle. I don't want to be too close to that edge. And then I'm going to draw a line that goes up to the apex there. Again, we just want it to sit a little bit down. That looks good. Now, if you want, you can draw another line down this side that connects this corner, but I'm going to show you a trick, which is to use the mirror tool. So click on mirror, choose this line, and then select this as the mirror line, and then see it's just replicated that line on the other side. Now I'm going to just draw a few more lines to close things in. So if I zoom in here, just going to draw this box so that it goes right outside like that. I'll show you why we've done that very shortly. So you can see that box where it's been drawn. Now we're going to use the extrude tool. So you just click on E for extrude. And we're going to click on all of these. And we're going to go backwards, cutting through the thickness of our wall, which was 0.2. And that cut that wall out. So see now, we zoom in there, that's all neatly set up so that that wall's trimmed with a little bit of a gap there. Now if we come back here and we turn that sketch on that we just drew, we can also use it to cut the wall at the other end. So E for extrude again, click on all these shapes, and we're going to start from this object, and we're going to go that way again, 0.2. So that's how we trim off those extra bits of wall so that the roof is all closed in. Now before we put the door in, I just want to show you how to put some tabs on this so that when you fold your model up, it's you've got some tabs to glue all the pieces together. So if you zoom in here, Shift F for flange again, I'm going to zoom right in and click on this inside edge, and we're going to flange that way. Let's go 5mm, and if we do this at the moment, this tab, the flange that we've just created, is going to join to this wall, and it's going to join to the roof, and therefore the sheet metal won't unfold. So we take this option here and we go symmetric, and that gives us this choice to pull that in like that a little bit from the ends so the tabs sit in a bit. Now, so that everything ends up tidy, let's call that 17.5, and then when we do the other side we can do exactly the same. So now if we zoom in here, and Shift F the flange, zoom in again, that edge. So you can use the same settings, 5 millimeters, and then symmetric, 17.5. And now we've got matching tabs. I'm not going to show you how to do it on the other end of the building, but you know how to do that, just replicate it. You should also, I suggest that you should tab these edges down here, so Shift F flange. Millimeters and symmetric. Drag that end in. Okay, we'll make that 22. Okay, and the other end. And then Shift F flange. All done. Go to the home. That's what our building looks like. So let's have a quick check to make sure that that's going to unfold properly. So save that and come in here to the modify menu, and we're going to use unfold. Now, see this box here? This is probably unticked for you, so you need to tick it to unfold all bands. And then we're going to scroll around to the bottom, and stationary entity, that's the piece that's going to stay still. So click on that, and then the whole thing folds flat. Fantastic. Looks really good, so that's okay. Obviously, I haven't got the tabs on the other end, but that's something you can play with yourself in your own time. But I do want to show you how to create a door. So if we're zooming in here, we can create a new sketch on the surface. So after rectangle, we can draw it on this surface, and then you position your door, zoom right in so that we get it on the edge of there. Click on there. Now, in real life, a door would be 2 meters tall. So 2,000 millimeters divided by 50 would be 40, and 800 millimeters wide, so 800 divided by 50 is 16. So that's the size of a real life door. Now you can use the extrude tool again, so click on there, E, and just drag that through to cut it out, and that will give you the hole for the door. Now we can refold the faces, and there's your building with the door. You might have seen in my sample that I had a folding door, and you know how to do that. You use your flange tool, you click on the surface, you drag the door out. That was 16, so we'll make it a little bit shorter, 15.5, so that it can close neatly. And then you can even open and shut it. Or make it zoom in there. That looks about right to me, so that's okay. Now you can do the same for creating windows and any other openings that you want to do in your building if you'd like to. So that's your first tutorial finished. I hope it's gone well for you. And once you're done, remember to save your drawing, and you can move on to the next tutorial, which is a slightly more complex shape. Okay, thank you for watching.